Hi, it's Dawn here at Stickletown, and today I'm making a cheddar cheese from our own goat's milk. I'm using the Mad Millie hard cheese kit. I've used it several times before, and you get absolutely everything in it. You get the cheese press, cheesecloth, you get all the cultures, the salts, everything. All you've got to do is add the milk. Now I'm making it from goat's milk because that is what we produce. So I'll show you. I've got my goat's milk in the pan there warming up, and it needs to come to 32 degrees, which 32 degrees centigrade, 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Our goat's milk is completely raw, unpasteurized and everything. So there's nothing in it, and really that is what you need for a good hard cheese. You'll have to excuse the mess of my kitchen. We have got a new kitchen being built, but in the meantime this is what I've got. So the next stage, once it's reached temperature, is to add the calcium chloride and the culture. And let me get my spoon ready. Everything has been sterilised. You get the steriliser as well. So I'm just looking at that. That's almost at temperature. And in the kit you get a good recipe book which covers quite a lot of cheeses. It covers a Colby, cheddar, Caerphilly, Cheshire, Havarti, Wensleydale and a Leicester. So there is enough in the kit to make all of those. Like I say, all you've got to do is provide the milk, and it's 6 litres of milk, and mine is now at temperature. So now it's at temperature, I'm going to move it off the direct heat. So it's sitting somewhere warm, but it's off direct heat. So I need to add the calcium chloride, which is 3 mils. Can't read where the 3 is on the email at the very top. That's 2. And a half. There we go. That's 3 mils. And then we need a bit of a stir. And then we're going to stir in the culture. I'm not a cheese eater. I don't eat cheese myself, so I can't really comment on what it tastes like, but Martin does. So there we go. Stir that in. I use my jam pan because it's a nice big pan, and I can get everything in it and don't have to be concerned about anything. So right, so now that is stirred in, we need to cover and leave that to ripen for 45 minutes. And the keeping it warm, so it's got to be off a direct heat, and if your heating element on your cooker, whatever you're using, you know, can't keep it warm. I'm lucky with the Rayburn. The tops of my hot plates, the covers, are sufficient to keep it warm. Then you can sit it in a hot water bath as well, and you basically want to keep it at that same temperature. You want it holding its temperature for 45 minutes. So we'll come back in 45 minutes and we'll do the next bit. Right, 45 minutes have passed and now it's time to add the rennet. The rennet in this kit comes in tablet form. It's a vegetarian rennet, and you have to mix it 2 capsules with 30 ml of unchlorinated water. This is the only time I will buy bottled water. Our water is chlorinated, so I use a bottled water which doesn't have any chlorine in it. So let me tilt you down so you can see. Yeah, still doesn't look anything like cheese, but we can only hope that it will become cheese. Right, so we're just going to stir in the rennet. And to make sure I get it all out. There we go. I'm going to make sure that is stirred all the way through and well and truly mixed in. Right, so that is now stirred in. So once again we have to cover and leave it. So clean tea towel over the top, helps to keep the flies out, and this time we leave it for 60 minutes. Right, 1 hour has passed and the curds have set, as you can see. Cut them through. And we want to cut them into roughly 1-inch squares. I haven't taken the thermometer out because we are going to use it again. But yeah, there we go. You can see that they're separating. Right, so once we got that done, we put them on a low heat. Well, it's not 1-inch squares, sorry, it's 1/2 inch roughly. So I'm going to move it over onto the low heat of the stove. And as that is slowly heating up to 38, 38 degrees centigrade, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. If you can see that. I have to slowly stir. Oops. To stop the curds clumping together again. See if I can move that forward a bit more. Oops, sorry about that. Yep. move my knife out of the way and then get on a bit better. There we go. Right. So this is where you get your curds and whey. So we have to continue stirring that as it slowly heats up. Which will take about half an hour. So once that bit's done, we'll move on to the next bit. Right, I've brought it up to temperature. So as you can see, we've got plenty of curds and whey. And so now we have to drain them. So there's some cheesecloth here in a colander over a bowl. And it's a case of spooning them out. Taking out all the curds. So it always makes me wonder when I do things like this, how on earth did they come across making cheese, making butter, you know, how was it, who discovered it? How did they discover it? What on earth were they doing? It must have been, you know, some sort of accident. And I'm cutting into the curds here because I want the whey to drain down. The whey that's left is basically the protein from the milk, and you can add it to soups, stews, casseroles. You can use it for baking. When we've got pigs, I do feed it. I've got a fly there buzzing around. Don't want him in my cheese, thank you. We do feed it to the pigs. We haven't got pigs at the moment. We only rear pigs every other year. And yeah, so we haven't got any pigs this year. So the whey I will actually just put into bottles, and we end up giving it to the dogs each morning as a little treat. Right, I think that's all the curds out. Yep. So, and that is, well, 3 litres of whey left in there. So of course we now want this to drain away. And this will take about an hour again to drain. So I think I should have had a slightly bigger bit of cheesecloth there, but it will all fit in. Get in there, you. So. I'm going to tie these together. Come undone again. I do want a fairly tight bundle. I think I shall get another bigger bit of cheesecloth to tie around all of this. And yeah, then we'll just leave it to drain for an hour. And you see, as it's draining, it's getting smaller, so it's starting to actually fit into my cheesecloth now. And then the next stage is, after we've drained it, after about an hour, we'll put the curds into a bowl, and we're going to mix in some salt, and then we're going to pack the curds into the cheese press and start the pressing process. And then of course that brings us to the end of it, really, after it's all pressed. And we can we then leave it to air dry. And then once it's been air dried, we then wax it and leave it to age. It takes about, I'm just sort of trying to think, I think it takes about 5-6 weeks for it to age completely. And then yeah, it'll be ready for Martin to taste it. So right, so I'm going to leave that to drain now, and I'll come back to it in a while. Right, the cheese has drained now, so the next stage is break it all up. There's still lots of liquid in there. My hands have been washed, and it's at this stage we want to mix in the salt. So it's 1.5 teaspoons of salt. That's 3/4, 1.5. Okay, that's the salt in. And we're going to mix all that through. Breaking it all up into little pieces. It's sort of got the texture and the look a bit of scrambled egg. And you can actually hear all the liquid in it. I've lined the cheese press ready with some cheesecloth, ready for this to go into. And then there's several steps of pressing. So, right, I think that's it mixed. So of course the next thing is to pack it into the press. Right, let me move that out of the way. So that's it all into the cheese press. Now we put this on. There's a, I don't know if you can see that, there's a little indentation in the top. So that wants to go in the top. And we just bring our cheesecloth up around it, keeping it away from that section because we are going to be screwing it down. Mind all of this. This cheese press has got a gauge on it, so which I'll show you in a minute. Right. So that wants to fit into all the little I think I'm going to have to trim some of my cheesecloth off. Hold on. Right, I need to trim off the excess cloth because it's going to be in the way of the lugs for locking it all in place. Better. So that wants to be tucked in at the top, all the way around the edges, these little lugs, and there's little clips here that clip onto it. There we go. And then we screw it down. Right, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little guide there. You see them little marks? So we've got to do it 5 kilos of pressure. So 5 kilos is 1, 2, 3. I've got a little chart in my book that shows me what everything is. 5 kilos is 3.5. So I want to get that down. There we go, so that's 3.5, and already, if you can see, but there's, lift it up to show you, there's more of the whey coming out. So that's got to be on there for 10 minutes. Then the cheese has got to come out the mould, turn the cheese over, re-put the cloth on, and do it again for 10 minutes at 10 kilos, and then it will be repeat the process again at 20 kilos of pressure for 12 hours. So which will take us up to tomorrow morning. So I'll continue the video tomorrow morning with the next step to show you it before it goes off for aging.